camera girl's wanting a kitchen pot hanger to hang above her window. And to tell you the truth, we live in a small house. It's 800 square feet, so there is no rooms. That's why I'm willing to do these kind of things. So the pot hanger will hold all her little utensils, probably not really pots. So I'm going to build a fire here. I'm going to make a charcoal torch that I can use to bend, concentrate the heat, kind of like a spot forge, and makes bend. So made this yesterday. It's just a bender. Fits down in the hardy hoe. Anyway, hope you enjoy the video. Let's get this started. These are just, I guess they're a 1/2 inch, maybe a little more, ground rods. They have a copper coat on them, so I have to be careful and make sure I'm upwind. They should work fine for legs. These are going to be the legs that go on the charcoal pot. So I'm going to cool them down just because I need to continue working with them. And this is leftover peanut oil from our Thanksgiving holidays, back when people could actually meet. So it's handy. I would use water, but I don't have any over here, so I'm just going to use this. Guess we should have done all 3 of them at once and been faster. I smell turkey. Okay, this is what I'm going to use. These parts right here are what I'm going to use for the charcoal fire pot. So this is a hub. This is an old brake drum. So this brake drum will fit in here like this. And the experiment I have to figure out is how far I bring the pipe out of this. And let me explain that a little more. So this T right here, we'll probably just tack it right there. I'll try to control the airflow into this pot. This pipe right here will go on here. Well, the camera's on, so that probably ain't gonna work. Anyway, so just imagine this is right here. This will come out here, and then I'll probably cut it and put a flapper right here with a little handle so I can control the airflow in here. So I'm not going to be real concerned about making it completely airtight, but I want some control over it. And this plug right here will unscrew this to help clean it out. But more than likely, I'll just turn it over and dump it out. Now these legs are going to go in here just like this. I'll weld them in there. That's why I put that little loop on the end so it wouldn't dig into the ground too bad. So that's about 1 or 2 degrees. Like I said, this is going to go on this side. The pipe that comes through here, hopefully you're in camera, will have holes in it. Okay, so air will be able to come out around this. The charcoal will be sitting here, piled in here like this. And then it'll be capped. And then it'll have another pipe coming up with holes in it. And it will come out the top. Now I don't know if I've got some 2 7/8 pipe I can sit right here and bring it on up to try to make it like a rocket stove. Or if I just leave it right here flush and let the fire come out right here. So this is where I'll put the, like if I'd have had it today, I could have used it right here on these legs, right here like this. So we'll have to experiment with this part right here. And also, with this at the end down here like this, and this screwed into it, I may have to put a fan into it to get the heat I want. We'll have to just wait and see. Okay, here's what I did. I grinded out the center of the hub there. Didn't show that on camera because there's not much to it. Just used an angle grinder, and it's the first time I've ever was glad that the disc was about gone because it fit down in that hole. So here's my vent, or air intake I should say. And right here is the stem for the wheel hub. That's where the air stem went. So I'm going to point this toward that hole in case there's some kind of bracket I need to put on there. And this will clear. It will clear the hub. I'll put these bolts in here, left over from the building of this metal building here. And I'll tack those in place, and that'll plug up some holes. And then there's a few places, if you can see it, but right in there, right there, it's got a little bit of a hole. Not much, but a little bit of a hole right there. I'll go ahead and weld those shut, and I'm hoping I'm not doing something detrimental to what I'm trying to do here. Maybe I should hold off on those and weld those last. Anyway, let's tack this all together. So what we got here is a lawnmower blade. I've got a spring, a lock washer, and a few washers. Try to give it some give there. Welded this little pipe on there. I'm going to put the bevel going this way. And that's how that's going to work, just like that. The diameter here on this rim is 15 and a half. You multiply that by pi, you're going to get 48 5/8. So now divide that by 3 and you'll get 16, I believe 16 and a quarter. So there's 16. So that right there would be 16 and a quarter. We'll come back the other direction. 16 and a quarter. Right there. And then I'll check. Should be about 16 and a quarter between this one and this one. Pretty close. 16 and a half. So that's how I determine the 3 legs. Now we just got to weld them up. Okay, so what I did was drilled holes in this nipple right here. It's just a 2-inch nipple. This is for air. then I cut the threads here. So I'd always be able to get this back out if I need to, because I'm not sure that there's enough holes here to get airflow. So this is just going to screw in here. And this is the original pipe that came out of that forge there. And so I'm going to drill more holes in that. But basically, I just welded an end to it so air couldn't pass through. That's going to fit in there like that. And then I'm going to tack it around here. And so what I want to do is force air out the 2-inch nipple into the coal, into the charcoal, and then these holes here, I want the air to go through and out the top. So I'm gonna have to drill more holes in this little thin piece here, and then this right here will go on top like that. So the experiment, of course, is, do I cut it here and seal this? Do I leave this open? I think I'm going to have to just try it. And like I said, I've got a piece of 2 7/8 that'll fit across here. And I could get it on up if I wanted to make it more rocket stove. So that's the plan. It's an experiment. We'll see what happens. In case y'all are new to my channel, I make my own charcoal and I use it to work on my tractors. I heat up metal and bend it. But basically, this morning I started out by cutting this size. These are just limbs. This is limbs from hickory. And I cut this on my buzz saw. I've got videos showing me do that. And this is what you get after you make the charcoal. So this is twice as heavy as this. So we're down to the point now where I'm going to have to test it. So piled charcoal in here, homemade charcoal. Fixing to light it. We're going to find out if I need to put a fan on it or not. And the goal is to try to make a blowtorch out of it. So of course it's not going to be active until the charcoal gets going. I just want to see if it'll stay lit right there. So this is an experiment. So what I'm wanting to see is a flame come out and be concentrated to make it like a spot forge, or you know, the video's titled Charcoal Blowtorch. So we'll let it get going here. You can see down here I've got the air intake wide open. It's still burning. I went ahead and sealed up those little, there was little gaps, 4 of them around this hub here. It's where the inner hub mounted to this rim. So they had little bitty small 1/8-inch gaps in there. So I sealed that up because the goal would be to shut this when I'm done and seal it and seal this and save the charcoal. Now the charcoal's free. It takes me 4 or 5 hours to make it, but that 4 or 5 hours I'm usually doing something else. But I guess the goal here is if I can save it, I need to save it. So put this over it right here. It's already generating some heat. Get some gloves on. So I've got 2 nipples in there. The bottom one should supply the air to the charcoal, and the top one, I hope, yeah, the flame's coming up in it. I'll have to get the camera over here. That really dampened it. So you can see, you might can see the flame there. So when So that means air is going in through this way. When I sit this over it, really dampens it. Alright, let me rig it. This is the fan I use on my retort when I'm making charcoal to get it up to heat faster. The charcoal runs it when it's in pyrolysis mode. It'll get up to around 800 degrees to 1,000. Yep. That's definitely got some flame to it there. That's what I was looking for. Get the camera over here, but the flame is coming in through those holes. Let's lay this across here to see what happens. It's definitely cherry red down in there. I feel like if I had less airflow, it might be better. So I'm going to get my thermometer on it because so far I'm disappointed. I would have thought that 1/4-inch wire or whatever that is already turned red. When I put it on low speed, the temperature goes past what this thermometer will register about 999 degrees. So what I've got to do is slow down the airflow. I believe the forcing that much air through there was diluting the heat. So that charcoal was depleted pretty quick. So I've got too much airflow. I'm not getting the performance I want out of this, so what I'm going to do is I'll let it cool down. I'm going to clean this out, and I'm going to put a smaller diameter tube in here to concentrate the charcoal right along here. I'm cutting this off with the top of that plate there, the brake drum, probably an inch or so below. Because when I first started, I saw the flame coming around it like that. So some flame comes in through these holes here in this tube, and then some flame comes around it. So my test was the barbed wire I had. You saw me put this on there at first because if this was a blowtorch, it should turn that cherry red pretty quickly. So this is going to be my test tool here. So anyway, let's get to it. So I think the ideal thing to hold the charcoal would be a funnel in here with the narrow part going down to here. But I don't have a funnel. We have an old wagon trail on our property, and this is a wagon hub, part of a wagon. I'm going to use it just to fit that hub right there. And these are just pieces of cut off 6-inch casing. So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to cut this pipe right here. And if I cut it right there, I should be, see, that just fit down in there. So that where I showed you that line on that pipe, it's going to be just below this hole right here. So like I said, the fire should come around, hit the top of this and fold through there, through here, and then some of it should be coming in here. And the other thing I thought about doing is drilling a hole, a small hole, maybe an 1/8 inch, 3/16 down into that plug, so I can force a little fresh oxygen up in here. And I'm going to also take the plug. Well, let me show you. This is the bottom of the forge. I bought this nipple at our local hardware store, and it was $14. So now that's going to be the supply air, and this right here will be the exhaust. So I plan on relieving some of the air because I think the air was diluting the heat before. And then I'll put my hair dryer that I use on my retort, my charcoal retort, to supply. And then this right here, if you can see that, yeah, there you go. That will be my regulator. Anyway, that's the plan. We'll see if it works. Here we go. I'll demonstrate. That's with the regulator wide open. And there's with the regulator closed. Here's a pretty good example of why I'm building the charcoal blowtorch spot forge. Is I have to get a real specific heat to do what I need to do next. And that's these two rods right here. I need to get this right here cherry red so I can bend a 90 in this. And this is going to be kind of the handles for the top of the charcoal forge. Alright, I'm ready to test again. We got our 6-inch pipe in here. See if I can get it loaded with some charcoal. And then we'll light her up and see how she performs. So off camera I took those studs out of there. Put this flat plate on there. And then I made this oven. It can go over there like that. So we'll see if I need that. I'm not going to start with that. And then here's some of the wires that I've cut on the way across here, like that. she looks like. Not real red, but maybe good enough. Sit you right here. Okay, you can see it over there. It's doing fairly well. I've got the blast door, if that's what you call it, closed. I reloaded it with some more charcoal, a couple of handfuls, because I'm just not used to operating all this. This is new for me, so not real efficient. But anyway, I'm going to see if I can pull these out here and bend the top. The little loop at the top goes on the 1/2-inch black iron pot. And what I'm going to bend now is the pot hanger. So I just go halfway around. I break it back. And I make this loop turn the same way as this loop. I'll straighten them up, afterwards. You can straighten this when it's cold. It's just a touchy-feely kind of deal for me. They're not all exactly the same. Kind of want them open a little bit, so when you hang the pot, it's easier to hang it on there. And then of course, all I do is I run it over there into my peanut oil. So we're about ready to go hang it. I think it did pretty well. Probably the main hold up is how fast it goes through that charcoal because it's vertical. Next step is to hang the pot rack above the window, kitchen window.
When you have a small kitchen, you're always looking for opportunities and ways to get more organized and have your things handy. So Kim and I are constantly coming up with different things, different ways to organize or keep my stuff to where I can get to it. So I was telling Kim that I saw a rack. It was like a rack to hang utensils and pots and pans on. And I wanted to order it off the internet. And he said, well, because he always wants to go work in his shop, he decided to make me something. So let's see what he made.
Got her done. You ready for it to be put up?
Very ready.
Well, we've got, this is a meter. That's about how much we got to work with. Let's see what it looks like. Pretty simple little system. Okay, the hard part is going to be how you want all of your hooks. Do you want to have a long one on the end?
Yeah, probably the longer ones on the end and
A couple of long ones on the ends?
yeah.
And then let's line them out by length. Kind of awkward to hold it with all this stuff on it. Perfect.
Very, very good. I love it. Yep, it's gonna be perfect, Dad.
You want to put the rest of the hooks on there? Or is
Yeah.
that enough?
No, I think I'm gonna put them all on there. It's a lot wider than what I thought, so I think I'm gonna have plenty of room. Yep, it's good. Let's get her done.
Okay. So I'm putting a little beeswax on there because it'll help that screw go in because it's a pretty tight fit.
Yep, this is it. It's exactly what I wanted. I can reach up, use what I need, put it right back. I love it.
You happy?
Very. Thank you.